Give them bread and circuses, and they shall never revolt. Except on October 25th, 2025, they revolted during the No Kings protest. We're told that over 2,500 cities were filled with over 7 million people in all 50 states protesting against Donald J. Trump's policy. Guess what? A protest is not a revolt. And the powers that shouldn't be don't care if you protest. As a matter of fact, they love to see it. You know why? Because they love to see the division. They love to see left versus right because that's what politics is. You know it. I know it. We know politicians are liars. We know politics is that clever and deceptive art that uses euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to deceive average people like you and me into accepting and even demanding the chains of our own enslavement. And that's exactly what the No King protesters did. They don't want Donald Trump as king, but they do want their Democrat leader installed as king. They want him robbing and ruling you and me. They just don't want to be robbed and ruled by Donald J. Trump. And I don't blame them. I don't want to be robbed and ruled by Donald J. Trump either. But I don't want to be robbed and ruled by their king either. So what were they out there doing? What did they actually accomplish? They were out there supposedly marching against authoritarians and authoritarianism, but they were marching against increased immigration laws, federal spending cuts, and government shutdowns. They were actually marching saying, we don't want the government shut down. We don't want the government to stop spending money. We want them to spend more money. We want universal health care. We want you to take care of us, daddy government. So they're not marching against kings. They want people installed in the ruling class to rob and rule the rest of us. They just want it to be Team Blue. Why don't we see them marching against the fiat currency funny money of the Federal Reserve? Do you realize that the politics and the political charade cannot be sustained without fiat currency Federal Reserve notes? Nobody's marching against this. Nobody's marching against Federal Reserve policies, which, by the way, are Donald Trump's policies. That's right. Donald Trump's policies are Federal Reserve policies. Joe Biden's policies were Federal Reserve policies. Barack Obama's policies were Federal Reserve policies, but we don't see them saying no Fed. We see them saying no kings. They want to be ruled, but they're not going to go after the actual ruling class. Look at this. These Federal Reserve notes, if somebody can control the value and the issuance of this currency, they control everything that you do. You're out there working for these. This is the product of your time and laboring energies, this fiat currency. It's only worth what they say it's worth. And if they put more supply into the system, every unit loses its value, which means you have to work harder, which means they just controlled your labor. You have to spend longer at work to make more of these, which will buy less because they're devalued, which means they control not only your labor, but they control your time. But you're not marching against that. You're not uniting with the right against that. As a matter of fact, the right isn't even saying they're against this. If we were all unified and we actually demanded a sound money system, then this fiat currency funny money would go away and everything would be backed by precious metals. And it would actually be worth something. And then when you saved money, it would retain its value, not leak away when they decided to dilute the M2 money supply. And they do it all the time. Yeah, they say it's going to be privately funded. This bailout for Argentina, once 20 billion, now 40 billion. It's going to be privately funded. No, it's not. You and I are going to be paying for that. They said that the banks would pay back the bailout from 2008. No, they didn't. Taxpayers did that. I don't see anybody marching against that. And these are the same team owners that own Donald Trump. They're the same ones that own Joe Biden and Barack Obama and George H.W. Bush and George Bush and Clinton and Reagan, and just go on, because when they own this, they own the President of the United States. They own Congress. They own the judicial system. They own the Supreme Court justices. Everybody's got to work for money. Everybody gets a paycheck, and it's paid to them in Federal Reserve fiat currency funny money notes. And until you align against this and march against this and unite against this, ain't nothing gonna change. Don't tell me that I need to be ruled by your ruler. Those who need rulers are unfit to demand them for others. Don't you dare demand a ruler for me. This is my question to the No Kings protesters, largely Democrats. What did you hope to accomplish while you marched and protested? And what did you actually accomplish? I know you felt good about yourself because you were able to unite with a whole bunch of people, and you probably increased your network. You got new numbers in your cell phone. You met new friends. You're going to make new coalitions. But what did you actually accomplish? Do you think the government really cares that you go out in the street and protest? Do you think Obama cared when people were protesting against him? No. And I got a message for you conservatives out there, you bunch of frickin' failed hypocrites bowing down at the feet of Trump. You know he's no good. You know he's bought and paid for by Israel. You know Bibi Netanyahu calls the shots. You know that he's the father of the VAXX, and you were vehemently against the vaccine, but you're going to go ahead and support somebody who shoved billions and billions of dollars into big pharma industrial complex CEO goons, increased the coffers of the military industrial complex, said I like take the guns first, due process second, instituted red flag gun confiscation laws, made more money for the corporations that control the prison industrial complex. Conservative rightist statist propagandists and peddlers like Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Nick Sorter, and all the rest of you who are licking the boots of Donald Trump ought to be ashamed of yourselves. You don't know what freedom is. You don't care about free markets and sound money when you're backing Donald J. Trump. Doesn't it bother you that you're supporting a guy who continues to cover up one of the largest blackmail pedo crime rings in human history? And for that matter, you Democrats, Obama did the same thing. Biden did the same thing. Everybody is involved in the cover-up of evil. You guys have lost your morality. You don't have any virtue. Your moral compass was destroyed a long time ago. No righteous people will tamely surrender their liberties, nor can any be easily subdued when knowledge is diffused and virtue is preserved. On the contrary, when people are universally ignorant and debauched in their manners, they will sink under their own weight without the aid of foreign invaders. And that's what's going on. There's nobody virtuous or righteous on the right. There's nobody virtuous or righteous on the left. There's nobody willing to take a stand against today's political beast and tell you that government is your 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week enemy. Republican, Democrat, they're all the same. They are all liars. They all dangle from the strings of the Zio International Banking Cartel. They all serve this, and they demand power. You can march all you want. You can make all the fancy videos you want. Maybe you'll make some money in between now and the collapse. But I'm telling you, they're setting up a digital surveillance control grid that will capture both Republicans and Democrats, and they aim to use that technology against all of us. The techno bros and the politicians are setting up these massive AI data centers that are sucking away our energy and our water and all of our resources, and they leave us, you and me, to pay the bill. So I got an idea. Why don't we all wake up, realize that politicians are liars, they hate our guts, nothing about politics is good, Washington, D.C. is filled with nothing but criminals, power-hungry, psychopathic, parasitic criminals who are sucking every last drop of life out of us. And why don't we get together and unite for the cause of true human freedom? Leave your thoughts about this for the world, the global thought police, in the comments section below. If you want to support this channel, I appreciate it. Just save your money. Don't send me money. Just the best thing you can do is like this video, share it with everybody you know, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. Whether you agree or disagree with what I said, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and I'm willing to truly organize against every shade of tyranny.